session. Let's chant one round of japa with Srila Prabhupada. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminati Namine Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांता स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। सामवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्त वृंद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam for All session. We'll recite Bhagavad Gita Shloka. You want to go first, Aditi Lata Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 9, text 23. Today is the last day we are reciting this verse. On Monday we'll learn a new verse. Okay, go ahead.
येऽपि अन्या देवता भक्ताः यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः Tepi mam eva kaunteya yajanti aviti purvakam. Translation. Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in the wrong way.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Anyone else need to go first? No? I'll just go in order. Achit Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
येऽपि अन्यदेवता भक्ता यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्वितः तेऽपि माम् एव कौन्तेय यजन्ते अविधिपूर्वकम्. Translation. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Achintadev Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhuji. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Please repeat, Prabhuji. Ye pyanya devata bhakta
Ye piyanya devata bhakta
yajante shraddhayanvitaah
yajante shraddhayanvitaha
tepi mameva kaunteya
tepi mame kaunteya
yajantya vidhi purvakam.
yajante viti aviti purvakam. Translation. Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Aditi Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Ye piyanya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvita tepi mam eva kaunteya yajanti avidipurvakam. Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do not do so in a wrong way. Thank you, Mataji. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Hare Krishna. Inba Inya, Jai Ganesh Prabhu, Jai Shri Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
येऽप्यन्ये देवता भक्ता यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः तेऽपि मामेव कौन्तेय यजन्त्यविधिपूर्वकम्. Translation. Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way.
Inya.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
येऽपि अन्यदेवता भक्ता यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः तेऽपि मामेव कौन्तेय यजन्त्यविधिपूर्वकम्. Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way.
Yeah. Mataji and Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
ये अपि अन्य देवता भक्ता यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः ते अपि मामेव कौन्तेय यजन्त्यविधिपूर्वकम्. Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way.
Yeah. Jai Ganesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Yepi anya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvitaah teऽपि mameva kaunteya yajantya vidipurvakam. Translation. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way.
Yeah. Isha Krishna Shish Madhava Rasapriya.
येऽप्यन्यदेवता भक्ता यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः तेऽपि मामेव कौन्तेय यजन्त्यविधिपूर्वकम्. Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way.
Yeah. Next.
येऽपि अन्यदेवता भक्ता यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः तेऽपि मामेव कौन्तेय यजन्त्य विधिपूर्वकम्. Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way.
Yeah. Kalpesh Prabhu. Oh, you're ready? Rasapriya, sorry. Yeah, Rasapriya. go ahead.
Devadevatāः bhaktāः yajante sraddhayanvitā tepi māmeva kaunteya yajante vidipūrakam. Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way.
Kalpesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances.
Please
Yapya
accept my
anya devata bhakta yajyante shraddhayavanta tepi mam eva kaunteya yajyante avidhi purvakam. Those who are the devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Medha Usha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanavad Pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Epi anya devata bhakta yajna yajante shraddhaya vita tepi mam eva kaunteya yajanti avidhi purvakam. Translation. Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji.
Medha.
Medha is not here, Mataji.
She's not there. Okay.
Yeah.
So Mataji, yesterday your question was answered or no?
Yes, Mataji, but I'm actually off tomorrow. I'm thinking to listen to all the videos I missed. Now
Okay.
that you're recording, so I thought I will, that way I'll get more. Yeah,
Yes,
thank you, Mataji.
sure. Okay. Medha is not here. So Saujanya Mataji, Pragnya are also not here. Suraj Purti is also not here. So I think that's it, right? Did anyone not recite yet? Everyone has recited. Okay. So let's do Srimad Bhagavatam. I'll recite Bhagavad Gita 9:23. Yepyanya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvitaha tepi mameva kaunteya yajantya vidhi purvakam. Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 20. We are going to start a new chapter, and Jai Ganesh Prabhu will begin today. I'll just read the summary and then we'll start. Chapter 20, Bali Maharaj surrenders the universe. The summary of this 20th chapter is as follows. Despite his knowledge that Lord Vamandev was cheating him, Bali Maharaj gave everything to the Lord in charity, and thus the Lord extended his body and assumed a gigantic form as Lord Vishnu. After hearing the instructive advice of Shukracharya, Bali Maharaj became contemplative. Because it is the duty of a householder to maintain the principles of religion, economic development, and sense gratification, Bali Maharaj thought it improper to withdraw his promise to the brahmachari. To lie or fail to honor a promise given to a brahmachari is never proper, for lying is the most sinful activity. Everyone should be afraid of the sinful reactions to lying, for Mother Earth cannot even bear the weight of a sinful liar. The spreading of a kingdom or empire is temporary. If there is no benefit for the general public, such expansion has no value. Previously, all the great kings and emperors expanded their kingdoms with a regard for the welfare of the people in general. Indeed, while engaged in such activities for the benefit of the general public, eminent men sometimes even sacrificed their lives. It is said that one who is glorious in his activities is always living and never dies. Therefore, fame should be the aim of life. And even if one becomes poverty stricken for the sake of a good reputation, that is not a loss. Bali Maharaj thought that even if this brahmachari Vamandev were Lord Vishnu, if the Lord accepted his charity and then again arrested him, Bali Maharaj would not envy him. Considering all these points, Bali Maharaj finally gave in charity everything he possessed. Lord Vamandev then immediately extended himself into a universal body. By the mercy of Lord Vamandev, Bali Maharaj could see that the Lord is all pervading and that everything rests in his body. Bali Maharaj could see Lord Vamandev as the supreme Vishnu wearing a helmet, yellow garments, the mark of Srivatsa, the Kaustuba jewel, a flower garland, and ornaments decorating his entire body. The Lord gradually covered the entire surface of the world, and by extending his body, he covered the entire sky. With his hands, he covered all directions, and with his second footstep, he covered the entire upper planetary system. Therefore, there was no vacant place where he could take his third footstep. So, that is the subject matter of this chapter. Now, we will read shloka by shloka with purports. Text 1. Sri Shuka Uvacha Balir Evam Grihapatihi Kulacharyena Bhashitaha Tushnim Bhutva Kshanam Rajan Uvacha Vahito Gurum. Jai Ganesh Prabhu.
Sri Sukadev Goswami said, O King Parikshit, when Bali Maharaja was thus advised by his spiritual master, Sukracharya, his family priest, he remained silent for some time, and then, after full deliberation, he replied to his spiritual master as follows.
So we saw, yes, in the previous chapter, the past few days, we were reading all the different arguments that Shukracharya gave why Bali Maharaj should not give in charity. So ultimately, the point was you have to maintain your body. If this giving of charity is going to jeopardize your livelihood, you should not give this charity. Because without maintaining this body, you won't achieve anything. That was his conclusion. And there is no problem if you said a lie, if you went back on your promise because you didn't chant Om. So because you didn't chant Om, you don't have to worry like that. So Bali Maharaj is contemplating on everything that his spiritual master said. It's not like he just ignored what he said. No, he actually considered everything that his spiritual master had advised. And he remained silent for some time, contemplating on that. He remained silent. After full deliberation, he replied to his spiritual master. So he didn't take a whimsical decision. He actually deliberated fully and then he decided and he replied to his spiritual master. Purport. Did Jayashree Mataji read yesterday?
Yes, Mataji.
She did. So Isha is here. Krishna Shish. Your first paragraph.
Srila Chakravarti Thakur remarks that Bali Maharaj remained silent at a critical point. How could he disobey the instruction of Shukracharya, his spiritual master? It is the duty of such a sober personality as Bali Maharaj to abide by the orders of his spiritual master immediately, as his spiritual master had advised. But Bali Maharaj also considered that Shukracharya was no longer to be accepted as a spiritual master, for he had deviated from the duty of a spiritual master. According to Shastra, the duty of Guru is to take the disciple back home, back to Godhead. If he is unable to do so, and instead hinders the disciple in going back to Godhead, he should not be a guru. Guruna Sasyat
Bhagavatam 5.5.18.
Bhagavatam 5.5.18. One should not become a guru if he cannot enable his disciple to advance in Krishna consciousness. The goal of life is to become a devotee of Lord Krishna, so that one may be freed from the bondage of material existence. Tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna. The spiritual master helps the disciple attain this stage by developing Krishna consciousness. Now Shukracharya has advised Kali Maharaj to deny the promise to Vaman. Under the circumstances, therefore, Kali Maharaj thought that there would be no fault if he disobeyed the order of his spiritual master. He deliberated on this point. Should he refuse to accept the advice of his spiritual master, or should he independently do everything to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead? He took some time. Therefore it is said, Ushanim Bhutva
Tushnim Bhutva
Tushim Bhutva Kshanam Rajan Uvacha Vahito Guru. After deliberating on this point, he decided that Lord Vishnu should be pleased in all circumstances, even if the risk of ignoring the Guru's advice to the contrary.
Yes. So there is a very important principle. We have many rules and regulations to be followed. Of course, we also saw there is, Dharma Shastra, and higher to Dharma Shastra is Jnana Shastra, and higher to Jnana Shastra is Bhakti Shastra, like that. So ultimately, we have to follow. So if there is a clash between Dharma Shastra and Jnana Shastra, which is superior? Which one should we follow? Then you can sacrifice Dharma Shastra and follow Jnana Shastra, because that is on a higher level. And between Bhakti Shastra and Jnana Shastra, if there's a clash, which one should you follow? The higher one, right? Like that. So of course, they are also there, like, giving charity to the poor, like yesterday we were discussing. That's not rejected altogether. But in comparison to Bhakti, that is very inferior. It's insignificant. So if you're doing Bhakti, then there's no need to do all that separately. Not required. There's no benefit in that. If you're doing Bhakti, that's the highest. In that, there is no spiritual benefit. You get some material benefit, like that. So even in Bhakti also, there are so many rules and regulations we have to follow, isn't it? For example, rise early in the morning, and you have to do this and you have to do that. You have to avoid the 10 offenses. Yes. But what is the purpose of all the different rules and regulations that are given in the practice of bhakti? What is the purpose? The purpose is to please Krishna. Pleasing Krishna means always remembering Krishna and never forgetting Krishna. So the mind should always be at the lotus feet of the Lord. That is at the heart of all rules and regulations. To engage the mind in the lotus feet of Krishna. That means to please Krishna at all times, to remember Krishna at all times, and to not forget Krishna even for a moment. It sounds like the same thing. Whether you're remembering Krishna or you're not forgetting Krishna, it sounds like the same. But actually, it is really, securing that point, that you should always remember Krishna, you should never forget Krishna, means you're there with Krishna at all times, at every moment. So that should be the principle. Service to Krishna, devotional service to Krishna, pleasing Krishna. In order to do that, then there are so many other rules and regulations. Now you cannot say, also, please remember. So if the main thing is being sacrificed for the sake of following, that's also said by Srila Rupa Goswami in Upadeshamrita, Nectar of Instruction. So there are 6 do's and 6 do nots in bhakti. 6 things that you must do and 6 things which you must not do. That means you should stay away from. You should guard yourself against these 6 things. So in both these cases, it is said 6 do's. In 6 do's, the 4th one is you must follow the rules and regulations that are given in the Shastras. That is a do. That is something that you must do. And what is it that you should stay away from? You should stay away from not doing rules and regulations. That means you must always follow. But there is one condition. Following rules and regulations, in do nots it is given. Following rules and regulations is a do. You must do it, right? In 6 do's, one of them is you should follow rules and regulations. And in the other one, 6 do nots, it is said simply following the rules and regulations for the sake of following. You should always know why we are doing what we are doing, right? It's just like, let's say, I'm performing arti to Krishna. I'm offering a lamp to Krishna. What is the whole purpose of offering? Bhakti means what? Bhakti means it's an expression of our love and gratitude to the Lord. But there are some rules and regulations in offering lamp. 4 times to the lotus feet, 2 times to the navel, 3 times to the lotus face, and then 7 times. So that rule is also there. But if I simply focus on the number of circles, 4 circles, 2 circles, 3 circles, 7 circles, done. 4 circles, 2 circles, 3 circles, 7 circles, done. And then year after year after year after year, that is all I'm doing. And I forget the purpose of why I am doing that. Is that good? No. Then why that particular number is given? What is the purpose of that rule? So that we become attentive, so that we don't take it cheaply. So you must follow the rule, but at the same time you should understand why I am following the rule. What is it that I'm trying to achieve by following this rule? I am supposed to be developing my attachment to Krishna by following this particular rule. So you check, am I actually doing that or not? Is that goal being realized or not by my following the rules? So in one of the do nots, simply doing it for the sake of doing, not considering why we are doing it. The goal is to please Krishna without considering that simply doing the ritual. That's also not good. And in the same thing, the other meaning of the same statement is not doing it at all. Now you will say, yeah, my goal is to please Krishna. Then what is the use of following this? I won't even pay attention to this. That is also not correct. If the Acharya has given it, how I can reject? If the scripture is saying that, Acharya is saying that, who am I to reject it and say, no, I'm not going to do it. I don't care for it. That becomes offense. Guru or avagya. We cannot do that also. But while doing it, don't simply get attached to the ritual itself. Understand why you're doing it. So, yena kena prakarena manah krishna niveshayat. Right? So, some way or the other, your mind should always be absorbed in Krishna. Whatever rules and regulations are there, they're servants to this principle. All rules and regulations are servants of this principle, that some way or the other, my mind should always be absorbed in Krishna. So while I'm following the rules and regulations, I should always check, am I achieving this goal or am I getting deviated? So in coming back to our discussion here, Bali Maharaj. So who is Lord Vishnu and who am I? By the way, Bali Maharaj is a Mahajan, right? So he's the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj and a devotee. We see that from his activities, from his behavior here. So when Shukracharya told him, this is Vishnu, he has come to take everything away from you, don't give him. So then Bali Maharaj started contemplating. Now this is the rule, that one should not disobey the spiritual master. Yes, Guru or Avagya, that's an offense to the Lord, offense to the holy name. So I cannot, as soon as Shukracharya said that, so generally what will be the tendency? A good disciple's immediate response should be, Guru has given me order, I must carry it out right away. But what is the Guru telling me here? The Guru is telling me to not surrender to the Supreme Lord. The Guru is telling me it's okay, even if you promised to the Lord, he is Vishnu. You promised him something, it's okay, you go back on your promise. Now Bali Maharaj is thinking, because he is a great person, he cannot just, he's not some, cheap person who doesn't care, who will just lie and who will just disobey this. No, he's an exalted person. For someone of the caliber of Bali Maharaj, for him to reject the Guru, it's not a small thing. So he's really seriously contemplating. My Guru is telling me to do something, but he's telling me He's actually deviating me from the principle. What is the principle? That the goal of whatever we do is to ultimately come to the point of surrendering to the Supreme Lord. And a guru, who is a guru? A guru is he who will guide the disciple to this level of surrendering to the Lord. So Shukracharya is my guru, but he's not, instead of bringing me to that point of surrendering to Krishna, he's deviating me from that. So what does Shastra say about that? Guru na sasyat, right? Pita na sasyat, janani na sasyat, guru na sasyat. You are not eligible to be a guru, a father, mother, teacher, king, if you cannot deliver your dependent. Deliver from what? From the cycle of birth and death. You don't deserve to be in the position of a leader if you cannot deliver your dependent from the cycle of birth and death. This is a statement from Srimad Bhagavatam. Rishabdev is saying. So, if he is my guru, he should be guiding me to surrender to Krishna. But now, on the contrary, he is saying, no, you should not surrender. Then, what is my duty in this situation? Bali Maharaj is contemplating. That's why he took time. Before he responded, he took time. He's considering all these points. So, then what did he think? Spiritual master is supposed to help the disciple to develop Krishna consciousness, but Shukracharya has advised Bali to deny the promise to Vamandev. So therefore Bali Maharaj thought, in this particular case, if I disobeyed my guru's order, there will not be any fault on my part. It's a big decision, but he very carefully analyzed the whole situation and he came to that conclusion. That is why Shastra is our pramana, right? How does he know that the goal of life is to surrender to the Supreme Lord? From Shastra only. So even if somebody is a guru, because sometimes we face this situation, like a guru is falling down from his position. Is it a sentimental relationship? That, oh, he's my guru, so eternally, no matter what he does, even now he starts smoking and drinking alcohol and having illicit relationships. I took Diksha from him, so I will always remain faithful to him. Is that the case? No. Guru means one who will actually guide us to Krishna. That is Guru. As long as Guru is maintaining that position, yes, we must keep our head at his lotus feet. But when the Guru is deviating from that, and what to speak of, he's even deviating you, preaching to you against Krishna, you're not obliged to follow such a Guru. You should not actually. You should not follow such a Guru. Bali Maharaj being a Mahajan. Who is a Mahajan? Mahajan is one, he is an authority in bhakti. By his personal example, he is teaching us. It's not a sentimental relationship with Guru. You should always check Shastra, Guru, and Sadhu. There's three. Just like, you have, when you have to make a judgment, there's a jury, right? It's not just one person deciding. All of them have to agree on that point. Then it is judgment. Like that, for us, we have three: Sadhu, Guru, and Shastra. All three have to match. If anyone is deviating from the other two, something is wrong. So in this case, Bali Maharaj decided, yes, there's nothing wrong if I actually didn't obey my guru. So he is thinking, he deliberated. On this also he started deliberating. Should he just refuse to accept the advice of his spiritual master? Or should he independently do everything to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Generally, how do we do? To please the Supreme Lord, you go through the Guru. But here Guru does not want to serve. So rejecting my Guru, should I just directly try to please the Supreme Lord? So to consider this, but it shouldn't be done out of arrogance or false ego. So he took some time to think, is this really the right way, right step to do, to take? And finally he said, right, after deliberating on this point, he decided that Lord Vishnu should be pleased in all circumstances, even at the risk of ignoring Guru's advice on the contrary. Something like, the gopis, they would go to hell. That means he's prepared to take even the reaction. Like whatever reaction he may get for disobeying the Guru, if it is sinful to disobey the order of the Guru, he's willing to take that risk and suffer the reaction, but he's not willing to risk pleasing the Supreme Lord. He's not willing to risk pleasing the Supreme Lord. So I will please the Supreme Lord, and for that, whatever punishment I may get for disobeying my Guru, it's okay. I will accept it. Like the gopis, right? Then Uddhava went and said, can you give some dust from your feet? Krishna is having a headache. When Krishna's devotee gives the dust from the lotus feet, when Krishna will apply on his forehead, then his headache will go away. Nobody in the whole creation wanted to give. Even Narad Muni also, nobody wanted to give. How can we put our feet's dust on Krishna's head? He is the Supreme Lord. The gopis immediately were giving without even thinking once. Narad Muni said, don't you know? You'll go to hell. So they said, hell, we don't mind. We can live in hell eternally. If in exchange for our living in hell eternally, Krishna gets a moment's relief from his headache, we are willing. We are more happily will go to hell. So not that they're thinking because I'm doing this, therefore I won't get any sinful reaction. No. So Bali Maharaj also. So he said, under all circumstances, I will please the Supreme Lord. Under all circumstances, even at the risk of ignoring the Guru's advice, right? I will satisfy Krishna. So Mataji, 1 second, Saujanya Mataji, I'll finish this purport and I'll take your question. Madhava, can you read the next part of the purport?
Anyone who is supposed to be a guru, but who goes against the principles of Vishnu Bhakti, cannot be accepted as a guru. If one has falsely accepted such a guru, one should reject him. Such a guru is described as follows. Mahabharat Udyoga 179.25.
You want me to read?
Yeah.
Gurorapyavaliptasya karyakaryam ajanataha utpatha pratipannasya parityago vidiyate.
Srila Jiva Goswami has advised that such a useless guru, a family priest acting as guru, should be given up, and that the proper bona fide guru should be accepted.
Shatkarma nipuno vipro mantra tantra visharadaha avaishnavo gurur nasyad vaishnavaha shvapacho guruhu.
A scholarly Brahmana, expert in all Vedic subjects of Vedic knowledge, is unfit to become a spiritual master without being a Vaishnava. But if a person born in a family of the lower caste is a Vaishnava, he can become a spiritual master, but no Purana.
Yes. So first of all, sometimes you will see, before coming to Krishna consciousness, some people, they may have accepted someone as a guru, and then now they are in doubt. Is it okay to accept a guru again? Is it an offense? Like that. So there are 4 bona fide Vaishnava Sampradayas. Again, always keep the goal in mind. What is the goal? The goal is to develop Krishna consciousness. So there is 4 Vaishnava Sampradayas, authorized bona fide Vaishnava Sampradayas. If you have already taken initiation in one of the Sampradayas, then there is no need. It's not required to take initiation again in another Sampradaya. But after taking initiation in that Sampradaya, now because you're getting higher, see, the Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy is the highest philosophy. Such details you don't get anywhere else. Even in other Vaishnava Sampradayas, you don't get. So, when we read, as we are reading Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, there we see what are the heights of, bhakti that are explained in Vaishnava Sampradaya, Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy given by our Goswamis. You will not find this information anywhere else. Nowhere. So if somebody is initiated in another Sampradaya and by good fortune they come in the association of a Gaudiya Vaishnava and they feel they want to progress further, then what is the procedure? if they're already initiated in other sampradaya, then they can take the permission of their guru, and that guru also actually a pramanika guru, right? A bona fide guru. If he sees that his disciple is able, another guru is able to take his guru further, higher, then it's just like, let's say I'm a second grade teacher, and there is another teacher, fourth grade teacher, third grade teacher, and I'm only able to bring my student up to second grade, and the student has this capacity to go higher, then I should very happily hand over the student to the third grade teacher so that the student can progress. That is the principle. So but at the same time, the disciple should not be arrogant, thinking that, well, now I got a higher guru, so I don't need to go. No, he will always maintain that gratitude, and even he will go and he will not do this without the blessing of his guru. He will go and he'll take permission, he will request his permission, and a bona fide guru will actually give him permission when he sees that this is actually going to help my disciple to go further. Because ultimately, all gurus are trying to bring all these conditioned souls to Krishna's lotus feet. That is their purpose. It's not about my, right? My disciples are my property. Guru never thinks like that. He wants to bring them closer to Krishna. So if a disciple has such an opportunity, then a guru should not stop. And he will not stop. A bona fide guru will not stop. Anyway, but here what Srila Prabhupada is saying in the purport is, sometimes you have gurus, sometimes Mayavadi gurus you have, or you may have some other types of gurus, and you feel, oh, I have taken Diksha, now I should not. No, there is a qualification for guru. So that's what Srila Prabhupada is saying here in the purport. What is Srila Prabhupada saying? This is said in Mahabharata also. What is said? That anyone who is supposed to be a guru, but who goes against the principle of Vishnu Bhakti, you cannot accept such a person as a guru. Like Bali Maharaj, right? He accepted Shukracharya as his guru, but as soon as the guru is going against the principle of Vishnu Bhakti, he rejected. And that should be the right move. If the guru is actually so-called guru, if he's actually going against the principle of Vishnu Bhakti, you reject. You should reject. Srila Prabhupada is saying, Mahabharata is saying, you should reject. And also Srila Jiva Goswami is saying, such a useless guru, a family priest acting as guru, should be given up. And you should accept a proper bona fide. Sometimes in some families, even as children, they are given, right? You take Upanayanam and all that, and then this person is my guru. But if you get a Vaishnava guru, a pure devotee, you should immediately accept. Not that, oh, I was initiated by my family priest, so he is only my guru. No. Srila Jiva Goswami is saying that such a useless guru, right, should be given up. If he's not a Vaishnava, that's the point. If he's not a Vaishnava, he should give up. Then, to what extent? He may be a scholarly Brahmana with all the 6 qualities of a Brahmana. But if he's not a Vaishnava, he's lower than a Chandala. Chandala means he's a dog eater. He's eating dogs, dog meat. But he's a Vaishnava. He's a Vaishnava. Then you accept such a Vaishnava. He's better than a Brahmana with all his, 6 or 12 qualities as given in Sanat Sujata. This Chandala is better. Why? On the basis of his being a devotee of the Lord. Okay, now Saujanya Mataji.
Mataji, it was not a question. As you were saying, whatever struck to my mind, I was just wanted to tell. Just 3 notes, Mataji. When you're saying, always remember Krishna, don't forget Krishna. That means it is something a must. Just like how we say, you have to go to school, you cannot miss. Every day you have to take shower. It's like that is must. You should do and you should not miss. So there's always, they tell that sentence together. And then the second thing, when you were telling, when we do any worship, but you're not actually having that bhava. I remembered one of the quote, Radhanath Maharaj in his app. they give daily quotes. In that he has given, if you do a ritual without the spirit, then it is not spiritual. Very simple, but very stunning message, right?
Yeah.
So I was just thinking that to share, that's all.
Thank you.
Not,
Yes,
not
thank you.
as a question. Mataji.
Thank you. Yes. So that also in Bhagavad Gita 4th chapter also, any sacrifice which is done with knowledge is better than mere sacrifice. There may be some value in that sacrifice or ritual we are doing, some value may be there. But when the spirit is there behind that, you understand why you're doing, and you're doing with that feeling, that is superior to mere ritual. Yes, thank you.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah, and when you were telling about the guru, like how you have to pick, recently when I took the disciple course, Anuttama Prabhuji, he very nicely explained about this, and it's already given in the content of the disciple course very clearly, like how what you should see in a guru, and how just so that just struck me right away, like, you know, it's all said. We having the right thing in the right time is what we lack sometimes.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Aditi Lata Mataji. You're raising your hand.
Yes, Mataji. I just wanted to know, like in India, most of the gurus, I'm not gurus, I'm saying in most of the brahmanas who does this rituals, no, they are like, most of them I have seen, they don't know much. They're just reading the, whatever is there, and they're just doing it for whatever donation they're going to get after that. So that is not our fault, because there is no one available. So how does, I mean, what does that mean? Like if that person is doing marriage or doing some, what is it called?
Samskaras, different samskaras, shraddha, marriage, and like that.
Then what happens? Then that is not actually happening.
Oh, it is happening. See, there is karma kanda, there's karma kanda, and then there is karma yoga, right? Nishkama karma yoga, and then ultimately you have bhakti also. So it's not that karma kanda has no value whatsoever. You do karma kanda, at least you're not getting a sinful reaction, provided you're following the procedure as it is given. So that Brahmana should be living by Brahminical standard. So Brahminical standard means, he chants his Gayatri 3 times a day, and he knows, he doesn't have to know everything, especially in Kali Yuga. That's why Vyasdev has divided the Vedas into 4, and each section has been given to one group of Brahmanas, priests. So you understand, learn nicely this section. So it's not that every Brahmana will know everything, but he has to know his particular field properly and the procedure. So what are the duties of Brahmana? Yajan, he worships, and Patan, he studies. So he should know that subject matter, and he should know the procedure, how to do that worship, that samskara, whatever. And he will come and he will do it. Is there any value in that? Yes, there is value in that. Is it actually devotional? Is it going to help you in progressing in Krishna consciousness? No. Because, see, the idea of karma kanda is, I want material sense gratification. I don't want to suffer. So for that, I will follow the injunctions of the Vedas for sense enjoyment. Like Shukracharya, for example, here. He's also saying like that only. So is there any value? Your question is there any value in doing that type of puja? Yes, the value is you are still following the scriptural injunctions instead of acting whimsically, not caring for what the scriptures are saying. But is that the highest? Not at all. Is that actually, like yesterday also we read, what is the use of giving charity to beggars? It's not going to give any self-realization. Similarly, this is also not going to give you any self-realization. That shraddha that you do and that marriage which you do, it's not going to give you any spiritual benefit in that. No, it won't. Then why we are doing? So that we don't get any sinful reactions like that. Or you may want some kamya karma. Karma is 5 types, right? One of them is kamya. Kamya karma means you want some fruit. With that intention, you're performing something. So you'll get that fruit that you're asking for. And the nice thing about these different rituals is in karma, there will be some little bit of bhakti. Otherwise, karma won't give its result. So those mantras chanting somewhere, there will be the name of Lord Vishnu chanted. So because of that little bit of bhakti, you get the fruit. What fruit? Material fruit, what you want. So that is the benefit in doing that. But as a Vaishnava, do you want to do all that? No, you wouldn't want to do that. Vaishnavas also have samskaras, but how Vaishnavas should do samskaras is given in Vaishnava books, like Hari Bhakti Vilas gives. For example, marriages. You may have seen how marriages are performed in ISKCON. What do they do in marriages? Or I think Priyanka Mataji's also had some samskara, right, before the baby was born. So how do we do that? We are chanting Mangala Charana. The yagya we do, it looks like karma yagya, but we are actually chanting Mangala Charana, worshipping our acharyas, Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is the type of samskara that we should be doing according to the guidelines given in the Vaishnava books, like specifically Hari Bhakti Vilas and Kshatriya Sara Deepika. These were given by our Goswamis under the direction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That we can do. But hiring some priest from outside to do some wedding, or no, we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't do that. So you said if nobody else is there, then what? Well, if nobody else is there, yeah, like now for us, we have an option, right? You go to an ISKCON center and they will do. They'll have someone to do. We have priests in ISKCON who can do marriages and different samskaras they can do. So if nobody is there, absolutely there, you are in somewhere where there's no temple around, then okay, something is better than nothing. Then you'll probably hire them. Okay, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. The reason why I was saying that this time when I went to India, I saw in my in-laws' house, they were doing what is it called? Shraddha ceremony. You know, Tarpan, they do it now yearly. So
Yeah.
that was being done by the priest, who I know is very forgetful. Whatever activity, when I was in India, he always used to do, and this Brahmana, he used to always say, "Oh, and he used to fall asleep also while chanting, you know, like that. So he was saying, after doing the ceremony, he was saying, I have become old now. I don't remember anything. This, that he was saying. I was thinking that what is the point of doing that? And of course, the mantra had Narayan in that, obviously. So that was covered. And then because I was feeling bad, I thought that, you know, after the completion, I just, you know, put that Prabhupada's Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and I told everyone that let's chant. The kids, of course, the older people, they are very rigid, they won't do anything. So I told the kids, let's chant, you know, at least a little bit.
Nice.
So then they started chanting, because I know that I think this is not doing, they're doing it properly, because they are sentimental. Oh, this Brahmana was doing from very long
Right.
time. We don't want to leave him. But then, you know, how can I tell them that go to ISKCON and bring someone, you know?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. So that's why, you know, it's interesting. Again, today morning I was listening to Prabhupada's lecture, and Prabhupada was saying the same thing, that unless you do some elaborate ceremony, people are not interested. If you say simply by chanting Hare Krishna, everything is achieved, they'll think, what is this, right? You have to have this elaborate puja and everything. So these Brahmanas went and complained to Kazi about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nimai. Because Nimai is saying, everyone come and chant Hare Krishna, that is the highest. Then what will happen to us? How will we survive? We caste Brahmanas, we do pujas, we do this, you know, samskaras and everything. If everyone simply chants Hare Krishna and there's no need to do it, then how we will survive? So that's why they went and complained to Chand Kazi, saying that this Nimai, he's spoiling our Hindu dharma. You know, he's bringing up some new things. This is not our system. You should punish him like that. So anyway, the pastime goes on, and you know, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has a dialogue. That's a whole different thing. But the point is, in that context, Srila Prabhupada said, unless you have some elaborate thing, you know, like puja and this and that, people think it has no value, nothing has happened. So in that case, to satisfy them, we do that also. When Srila Prabhupada installed the deities in Krishna Balaram Mandir, he had this elaborate yagyas and everything, local from Vrindavan, right? The local Brajvasis, they would come, I mean, the Brahmanas would come and they would do everything. But Srila Prabhupada had more faith in the chanting. He said constantly the Hare Krishna Mahamantra should be chanted. So Krishnadas Babaji, his god brother, he was sitting next to Prabhupada. He said, you chant. So the Brahmana said, reduce the volume, too much sound. We have to chant mantras now. So then he became silent. And Prabhupada looked at him and he said, chant, because that is more important. Chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is more important. So to pacify them, to please them, it's okay, you do that. It's not that there is no value whatsoever, because that is also a procedure and they're doing it and they have that faith in that. It's okay. They have not surrendered to Krishna, right? They have not become devotees. So you cannot expect them to immediately get the Shraddha that you have. They don't have that Shraddha. They have to develop it, right? And how you get Shraddha? By the association of devotees. So meanwhile, because they don't have that Shraddha, at least instead of rejecting all, Vedic instructions and just living like animals, they're actually following some particular system. So don't discourage them. But you don't have faith in that yourself. In your heart, you don't keep any faith, because it is only the Hare Krishna Mahamantra that is sufficient and that's the highest. So you have that faith, but at the same time, so as not to disturb the society, let them do what they are doing. And you did the right thing. You turned on Prabhupada's also, right? Understanding that this is the one that is actually going to help. Never mind, if they're satisfied, it's okay. Let them be satisfied like that. So it was good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Kalpesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Excellent answer. The last part, I like it. We should not disturb the society. Because as a Krishna consciousness, we should not necessarily look everybody to be, we should not be like correcting their behavior.
Yes.
That is one of the, because that's an envious quality. If one is elevated, then one should not, because that person, because this is a very common scenario which Mataji brought up. We are living in a society where we will have this kind of experience very common, very often. When we are at neophyte level, we'll do all this, like we will see problems in everybody, or maybe a fault in everybody. But that's how they are, and I like it way you presented this, like we should not really disturb because they are doing something compared to not. Our main evils are like where Kali Yuga is residing is where people are engaged into alcohol, intoxication, and this several the 4 regulative principles. So there we should be extremely strict, and we should say openly those things, rather than just Brahman, because we don't know, we have not hired himself the Brahman in that the case which was presented. It was not the person who, if I am doing that, then after doing Krishna consciousness, then it is something I have to check my faith, on the Krishna consciousness, that where my faith is. But if somebody is doing it and we are part of that, we have to be in that part, then we should be just be inclusive with that, and maybe we should introduce something. How can we dovetail
Uplift.
that?
Yeah.
Because I do that all the
Not
time.
go against, but rather try to just, you also be part and try to uplift. Yes. But
So
very,
I have
very sensitive thing, Prabhuji, although it's sensitive because, you're actually going into their, what do you say?
privates.
Yeah, like it's their territory, right? When you enter into their territory, um, first of all, willingly you should not be there unless there's actually you see some benefit of your going there to them. Spiritually, you
Yes.
see that there is some benefit. Although I may not be preaching, but my being there, it may not happen immediately, but there will be some goodwill, right? They have some goodwill about devotees, and in future, this might actually help them to take to Krishna consciousness, like that. So having that, you may be there, and yeah, according to time, place, circumstances, and the acceptability of the other person, gauging that properly, you give as much as they are able to take.
Yeah. That's right. Because I live with my family members and others. They are not doing Krishna consciousness. They are not reading Bhagavad Gita. Then I ask my question: if I am reading this, then who should be more better than them? Then I should give my association rather than I should take their association.
Right.
So even if I have to go to the mundane parties, I know that is not favorable for my bhakti life. But then I prepare myself before going there. That what will be my role in that party. Should I just start looking the problems and criticizing because they are not there yet to understand that thing. So instead of when they are willing to hear that, I am definitely going to say that in a very nice way. But at the same time, when they are not, I will try to dovetail, how can I give Krishna in that party also. So that is my mentality. I always try to see how can I decide beforehand only, and I keep when I don't want to speak, I don't speak. When things are very sensitive and when 4 or 5 people are talking about same, then it's not very advisable to talk too much. Unless we are extremely strong.
Exactly. And also where there is a possibility of offense, right? Because they'll start offending. You get into a debate and they'll start saying things against Krishna. And because you brought up that topic, you also become part of that offense. So where you see the other party is stronger, better to keep silent.
Yes. Yeah, I have so many dialogues like that, in the past, and sometimes I made mistakes, not knowing the shastras, and that's where knowing the shastras really help. That I had came across Lord Ram eating like meat, and so many other questions which are thrown by my other young family members. So then I told every answer because I learned from this Bhagavad Gita, and then I say those things, and then they develop their shraddha. Previously, they were not reading Bhagavad Gita. Now, at least they are not coming to ISKCON, but they are doing something related to Bhagavad Gita in their life. They are lighting their lamp, or they are developing. So that change I have seen in last 6 months. After my constant engagement and all. So slowly, they will understand.
Yes.
I mean, they're also understanding slowly. So it's not that Prabhupada is saying everything, but are we listening everything? No, we are listening what is convenient to us, right?
Right.
So that is what I look for myself. So that's my opinion.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah, just uh, we have to know ourselves, right? So you are able to handle that, and you're able to go with the proper preparation and enter into such dialogue or such parties and still maintain your Krishna consciousness. But some others may feel not strong enough going there, and they may choose to not go there at all, and that is also fine. That's also fine. What you're able to do, that is, if you're able to still stay strong in your, because you also take association of devotees, like being well prepared, taking your immunization, then you enter. So that's one thing. And but sometimes we feel, oh, it's too overwhelming, I cannot go there, it's just too disturbing, I'd rather stay. And we respect that also. So individually, some devotees would like to stay away, that's also fine. And those who are stronger, they can actually go there and make uh, you know make a mark there, somehow or other, in some small way. Give them some Krishna consciousness, or just by your presence, you're actually reminding them of Krishna consciousness. So that's also good if you're able to do that. So it's already past 8 o'clock. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. So let's end the class here. Hare Krishna. Today is Friday. So Saturday, Sunday, we don't have Bhagavatam class in the morning. We were doing shlokas, Bhagavad Gita shlokas before, and reading Krishna book. I might do that as of, because it's at the same time, 6:30. Usually weekends, hardly anyone joins because it's weekend. They don't wake up in the morning, or they have other engagements on weekends maybe. So if I do it, I'll just record it like this, and it will be available if you would like to follow. So whether you join, even if you're not able to join, the recording will be there. I'm just still thinking that I'll continue, because we are already in the middle of Krishna books. I want to read Krishna book through. And also the Bhagavad Gita shlokas, we haven't been reciting Bhagavad Gita, like revising the shlokas that we learned before. We got a break in between for maybe a few months now, several weeks at least. So I would like to do that again. And if you are free, if you would like to join, you're welcome to join. If not, the recording is going to be there. I have not yet planned on what to do on Saturday. Sundays we were reading Krishna book. I'm thinking on Saturdays maybe Prabhupada memories. I'm still thinking. So we'll do something.
Saturdays, you also have to go sometimes to.
So that changed now. Usually I go to the temple, but it's not possible for us, to go Saturday morning because my Prabhuji has work also. So it's becoming too tight, going to the temple, coming back. So therefore, I'm not going to go to the temple on Saturdays to give class. I will have my Zoom classes on Saturday, but that starts at 8 o'clock, right? 7:50. So we can still do our class here and then I can go there.
Oh, so
that's,
every Saturday you're doing Zoom class now?
yeah, but the month of May is already kind of scheduled, so whatever is scheduled is there. But from June onwards, every Saturday I'll have through Zoom at the temple.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna. So I'll see you today evening, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Actually, today evening also we won't have, because there's a lot of home programs going on. Narayani Mataji is here. Yesterday evening they had a Bhagavad Gita class at the temple. Today evening Mataji is doing a program in some one devotee's house, and tomorrow evening also she is doing right in another home program. And Sunday evening also we have her class in the temple. So let's just, this weekend we'll just, evening classes we will not have. Today is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. These 3 days we will not have evening classes. Okay. If you would really want me to do on Saturday Chaitanya Bhagavat, then we'll have to change the timing or something. Just let me know if you want. Otherwise, we'll just skip this weekend and we'll start Monday. And yeah, any other changes, I'll let you know through.
Who is Narayani Mataji?
She is Srila Prabhupada's disciple. She's visiting ISKCON Philadelphia now. She's doing a seminar on the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj. That's what Dronacharya Prabhu had announced. Yeah, she's visiting ISKCON Philly. Whole weekend she's there. She's Prabhupada's disciple.
Yes, Mataji. So Friday evening is Bensalam Satsang.
Right.
And then,
Today.
and then tomorrow is in near the temple, Sita
Mataji's house. Yeah.
And then Sunday again. Yes, hectic.
And
Thank
yesterday
you.
also there was a Bhagavad Gita class at the temple.
Yeah, Mataji was already there.
Okay, thank
So
you all.
that means today also is there. That means
Mataji?
Today also evening that.
Yeah, today evening is there. Bensalam today evening. Mukta
Yes.
Sangha Prabhu's house.
Okay.
We started off in-person satsang classes.
Yeah.
So this is the kickoff.
Okay. I will talk to Mukta Sangha Prabhu. So
Yeah.
we can go.
Last weekend was supposed to be in our place, but then things changed because we had some work going on at home. Yes.
The Friday satsang was going to start.
Yes, it was supposed to start last weekend at our place as the first satsang, as he put in the group. Already lined up, Mataji. Another 3 weekends lined up already.
Oh, nice.
Devotees want to host, so it is good to hear that. Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna.